Okay, so we've got a bit of rain here. Hopefully I can get this video done in a pretty short period of time. So I want to demonstrate with two different squeegees, but of the same length. And we've got some squawking going on in the background by some magpies. I think they're just supporting the average window cleaner. They're protesting, and you know, I get a lot of protesting with the information that I give. So using a typical squeegee and working like a typical window cleaner, I want to take you through a few sort of maneuvers that people do. I want to take you to the lamest technique, to a technique that I was watching a window cleaner perform on his window cleaning video, and how you can take it much further. So most people would agree that this technique is the lamest of everything. It's just lame. So let's talk about a better technique, but that needs refining. So particular technique that he was doing was this, and this. Now, a lot of window cleaners would say, well, that's great, that's a really good technique, because in the comment section it says great technique. So there's a couple of problems. First of all, the tool isn't particularly good, and that's the result you get, just for an example, on one side of the frame here. But not only the tool, the technique, because we've got a load of drag mark here. It's pretty bad. Let me just show you the drag mark before it dries. Hopefully you can see this drag mark here. And the majority of window cleaners around the world would all say that this tool is easier and better to use than this tool. But when you take your window cleaning level to the highest level, you would say, well, actually this tool is a lot easier to use and it's a lot more efficient, proficient and effective. You can't be a great window cleaner with this or any other brand of squeegee, because when I'm talking about being great, it's like zero detail, zero mistake, 100% of the time on the glass. For me, that's just standard. For a lot of people who've been doing that for the last couple of years, they think it's great. And the rest of the window cleaners that just continue to work longer, harder, slower, get less results. If you watch some of the videos, they just say it's impossible to get. It's impossible to get because their level of expertise is very low. Okay, so what that guy could do to improve his ability using this tool here is, instead of starting here, he could come up here, reduce his drag mark. It's still there, but it's a little bit better. Overall, for me, this is really, really poor, standard, and yeah, it's just better than the previous way, cutting in. I wanted to show you with cutting in on these particular windows, and how to avoid aggravation. If I just wet this window up here quickly, this squeegee, there you go, it's jammed right into that frame. So we've got problems starting off the window in some cases. So it's all about adapting and being versatile and trying to avoid problems. So with this tool, I can still get that problem, not so much, but I can still get a juddering problem, and I want to avoid problems. Okay, so what I wanted to now say is, if he used two different things, first of all, a soap solution that doesn't drip, that's very thick and saturated, not his runny soap solution, because it's loose, and of course his technique is loose and his results is loose. It all needs tightening up, and this soap solution is very tight. So he could just do exactly the same with his maneuver, and now he's got a much better quality result. He's used a better quality squeegee, a better quality soap solution method. Zero detail up until here, we've still got the drag. So, you know, as I said before, just by adjusting, adapting and evolving, you can get a much better quality result by just starting in a different position, and now we're aiming for tool and technique. So there's no mistakes now. No, there's no mistakes. But a possible aggravation still coming up here. So what am I sort of banging on about for the last few years is don't work like any other window cleaner. Work completely different, but only work completely different if it works better. So we all know that this squeegee can work better. We all know that that soap solution can work better over than a loose, slack, runny soap solution. Soap added to a bucket of water for the majority of the time for most window cleaners, and their ability and their limitedness, restrictiveness of how they can perform shows, because their quality of work is less, but they can make their quality of work higher by doing the detailing. But in this particular case, talking about that particular window cleaner I've got in mind, he never does any detailing, so it's always less quality. It's like the technique, he does the tool and technique and moves on to the next window, but the results is poor. And I like to talk about doing tool and technique and getting 100% results on the glass and then moving on to the next window. Okay, so let's not work like a typical window cleaner. And I know there's aggravation, especially on these windows coming up the glass. I'm going to give you two examples of how to improve, two techniques, but it means starting differently. Now, coming over here in the middle, I can now not have that snagging issue, and I can get my window cleaning done even better. I can do it better than this, and I'll take you to the next level again in a minute, but I've got no snagging issues. I've definitely got no mistakes, and I've definitely got no detailing or no lines or anything like that. So straight away on this particular window, in this example, it's better to do everything differently. Starting from the soap solution, obviously using two hands, using a better performing tool, and then using a better performing technique, starting completely differently. Right, so now let's take it to the max. And this doesn't mean it's going to work all the time, every single time. It means on this particular window, with this size tool that I've got, I'm going to take it to the max because I can, because I'm able to, and there's no restrictions. But I'm restricted in the size that I've got. So I'm going to get this window cleaned in the least amount of time with the least amount of maneuvers, and the standard result is 100% result. So I'm going to start there, and then I'm going to just make slight adjustments. It's all about right place, right time, put the tool in the right place at the right time, and always close out away from the frame, side frame. So standard result is still the same, 0 detail, 0 mistake, but the positioning power of the squeegee was just taken up a notch. The only issue we got on this window is the close up mark here. We've got this soap solution, and doesn't matter what squeegee I'm going to be using, I'm still going to be getting that soap solution. So what I would do is make sure that my squeegee maneuver will go on to the next window, then the next window, then the next window, let that settle down, and then once I've done 10 or so more windows, especially in the heat of the sun in the summer, this would pretty much all be evaporated. Then I'll just take a dry cloth and just wipe it down. So nothing's 100% perfect, but you can chip away at making more refined maneuvers, better skills, better technique, better thought. Literally don't work like the typical window cleaner. And of course, the end result is you've got to change your soap solution method. You've got to always use two hands on the ground. You've got to upgrade your squeegee performance and your squeegee use, what brand you're using. 100% of the time, this squeegee would always give better results for me. Not maybe for the majority of window cleaners, but for me. So I took my squeegee level to the highest level. This and any other tool will always give me less results and make me work longer, harder, slower, and I'll earn less money. But not with this. But this is only one part of the puzzle. The other part of the puzzle is the soap solution, and then the rest of it is down to how you perform. And if you're using the best performing squeegee, you've got a better chance of becoming a better performing window cleaner, because no matter how good you perform with this tool, I'll just show you. Let's do everything that I did with this tool with that last demonstration. I'm going to put the tool in the right place at the right time, and it's all going to take exactly the same amount of time because the coverage is the same. The end result is, I've got less results. I've got the detailing. So to get the highest quality results, I've got to get my cloth out, do all of this, and well, let that dry a bit and go on to the next window. So you can change your techniques with bog standard tools, but let's not work with bog standard tools. Let's take window cleaning to the highest level possible, and you've got to incorporate this tool in your work.